Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. It's the summary study of the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Prabhupada Hare Krishna. Over the last several months, managed to read the entire Krishna book. But then there's like three more chapters and kind of stalled out there. Because this particular chapter, Prayers by the Personified Vedas, is a little heavy. It's not pastimes. It's, from what I understand, in the Bhagavatam itself, it's really only a few verses. But Prabhupada, in his dealing with it, in his summary study of the 10th canto, has elaborated extensively on the prayers, Personified Vedas, and it's a very long chapter. It's like, 70 or 80 pages in the book. So we kind of read a little bit, Prayers Personified, and then let's read something else. But now let's go ahead and continue on in the prayers by the Personified Vedas. And these are the prayers that are offered, I believe it's Mahavishnu, when he's about to awaken from his mystic slumber and create again the material. It's manifested in the material universe. And they offer these prayers to him. He's lying there in the causal ocean. So there's really a lot going on here. This is already several pages into the chapter. So Prabhupada writes, for the Vaishnava, the protection of the body for the service of the Lord is a part of devotional service. But those who are gross materialists accept the body as the self. They worship the body by the yogic process of meditation on different bodily parts. Manipurika, Dahara, and Hridaya, gradually rising to the Brahmarandram on the top of the head. The first-class yogi who has attained perfection in the practice of the yoga system ultimately passes through the Brahmarandra to any one of the planets in either the material or spiritual worlds. Leave the body to the top of the head. How a yogi can transfer himself to another planet is very vividly described in the 2nd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. In this regard, Sukadeva Goswami has recommended that the beginners worship Virata Purusha, the gigantic universal form of the Lord. One who cannot believe that the Lord can be worshipped with equal success in the deity or archer form, or who cannot concentrate on this form, is advised to worship the universal form of the Lord. The lower part of the universe is considered the feet and legs of the Lord's universal form. The middle part of the universe is considered the navel or abdomen of the Lord. The upper planetary systems, such as Janarloka and Mahaloka, are the heart of the Lord. And the topmost planetary system, Brahmaloka, is considered the top of the Lord's head. There are different processes recommended by great sages according to the position of the worshipper. The ultimate aim of all meditational and yogic processes is to go back home, back to Godhead. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, anyone who reaches the highest planet, the abode of Krishna, or even the Vaikuntha planets, never has to come down again to this material condition of life. The Vedic recommendation, therefore, is that one make the lotus feet of Vishnu the target for all one's efforts. Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam. Vishnu Loka, or the Vishnu planets, are situated above all the material planets. These Vaikuntha planets are known as Sanatana Dham, and they are eternal. They're never annihilated, not even by the annihilation of this material world. The conclusion is that if a human being does not fulfill the mission of his life by worshiping the Supreme Lord and does not go back to Godhead, then it is to be understood that he has been frustrated in fulfilling the main purpose of human life. Okay. The next prayer of the personified Vedas to the Lord concerns his entering into different species of life. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita. What was the first prayer? Hare Krishna. Second prayer enters into the species. What was the first prayer? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Okay. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Well, Krishna Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda. Shri Krishna. Well, looks like I'm not going to find it so easily, what the first prayer was. But here's the next prayer. The next prayer of the personified Vedas to the Lord concerns his entering into different species of life. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita, 14th chapter, that in every species and form of life, the spiritual part and parcel of the Supreme Lord is present. The Lord himself claims in the Gita that he's the seed-giving Father of all forms and species, and therefore they must all be considered sons of the Lord. The entrance of the Supreme Lord into everyone's heart as Paramatma sometimes bewilders impersonalists who think in terms of the equality of the living entities with the Supreme Lord. They think that because the Supreme Lord enters into different bodies along with the individual soul, there's no distinction between the Lord and the individual entities. Their challenge is, why should individual souls worship Paramatma or Supersoul? According to them, both the Supersoul and the individual soul are on the same level. They're one, without any difference between them. There is a difference, however, between the Supersoul and in the individual soul. And this is explained in Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter, wherein the Lord says, although he is situated with the living entity in the same body, he is superior. He is dictating to or giving intelligence to the individual soul from within. It's clearly stated in the Gita that the Lord gives intelligence to the individual soul, and that both memory and forgetfulness are due to the influence of the supersoul. No one can act independently of the sanction of the supersoul. Therefore, the individual soul acts according to his past karma, reminded by the Lord. The nature of the individual soul is forgetfulness, but the presence of the Lord within the heart reminds him of what he wanted to do in his past life. The intelligence of the individual soul is exhibited like fire in wood. Although fire is always fire, it is exhibited in a size proportionate to the size of the wood. Similarly, although the individual soul is qualitatively one with the Supreme Lord, he exhibits himself according to the limitations of his present body. The Supreme Lord, or the Supersoul, is said to be Eka Ras. Eka means one, and Ras means mellow. The transcendental position of the Supreme Lord is that of eternity, bliss, and full knowledge. His position of Eka Ras does not change in the slightest when he becomes a witness and advisor to the individual soul in each individual body. The individual soul, beginning from Lord Brahma down to the end, exhibits his spiritual potency according to his present body. The demigods are in the same category with the individual souls in the bodies of the human beings or in the bodies of lower animals. Intelligent persons, therefore, do not worship different demigods who are simply infinitesimal representatives of Krishna manifesting in conditioned bodies. The individual soul can exhibit his power and potencies only in proportion to the shape and constitution of the body. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, however, can exhibit his full potencies in any shape or form without any change. Mayavadi philosophers' thesis that God and the individual soul are one and the same cannot be accepted because the individual soul has to develop his power and potencies according to the development of different types of bodies. The individual soul in the body of a baby cannot show the full power and potency of a grown man. But the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, even while lying on the lap of his mother as a baby, could exhibit his full potency and power by killing Putana and other demons who tried to attack him. Therefore, the spiritual potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is said to be Eka Ras, or without change. So even as a baby, he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead with full potencies. Therefore, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the only worshipful object, and this is perfectly known to persons who are uncontaminated by the force of material nature. In other words, only the liberated souls can worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Less intelligent Mayavadis take to the worship of demigods, thinking that the demigods and the Supreme Personality of Godhead are on the same level. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare